It's March 1st when I started writing this review, and I've just now finally beaten Kingdom Hearts 3. I started playing on January 28th after attending a 9 p.m. launch at GameStop. That's more of my fault due to my general lifestyle and the way I wanted to play it, but feeling what I feel now is what inspired me to make this, because I don't really know what this feeling is, but it's not what I felt when I first started playing. The first couple days I was honestly kind of blown away with the game. I never played 0.2, so I hadn't yet seen the graphical change that was made, and my god, this game looks amazing. With all of the AAA games fighting to see who can have the most humanly and realistic graphics imaginable, it's really nice to see a game like Kingdom Hearts have a colorful and cartoony vibe to it, while still being incredibly well detailed. And while I wasn't completely wowed with the gameplay yet, the first world is badly damaged by this terrible sledding sequence, it was still just nice, you know? The story was off to a pretty strong start. Olympus was still a fun world. Phil didn't talk for some reason, but Hades was hilarious as usual. It seemed like this would be worth the 6-year wait between now and when I played Dream Drop Distance, the last new game, which I actually liked no matter how many people bully me for it. But as I got further and further into Kingdom Hearts 3, and as the days went by, I just felt less and less interested in it. So much less fascinated by it. I blame the quality of the game to a great extent. All of the best worlds occur very early in the game, but even then, the only world that I really loved was Kingdom of Corona from Tangled. Apparently I am alone on this, but it was great! It had a clear objective from the beginning which made it feel like an adventure, and so the emotional payoffs were earned. I wish other worlds had this much care and thought put into them, like Arendelle, which should have just been called Mountain, because that's all it is. And god, what the fuck were they thinking with the Caribbean? It sucks. It just fucking sucks. The last 3 Disney worlds felt completely uninspired and needlessly time-consuming, just utterly flaccid. I was seriously breathtaken by the game at first sight, taking my time to admire smaller details.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that so much. This is what... We waited 13 years for this, guys.
And I felt so interested in the narrative and gameplay and everything about it. And today I felt like I was beating the game just to get it over with, so I could finally stop hiding from the community online, who have already stopped caring about spoilers because everyone that doesn't want to be spoiled should have been expected to beat the game by now. It was honestly kind of embarrassing how far behind I was. And the game itself feels kind of the same way, like it was made just to get it over with. And I know that's not true, at least not entirely. I know that most, if not all of the people on the dev team poured their heart and soul into this game, and if they were really to phone it in, then the game would have come out years ago, been half as long, and have way more fan service. Maybe the problem is that it isn't truly finished, and I know that's crazy to say after it's been so long, but it really feels like there's just a lot missing. A lot that the creators wanted to do, but didn't. Or couldn't. The biggest example is probably Twilight Town, a return to one of the most iconic and memorable locations in the series. For what it's worth, the improvements they made to it are fantastic. It feels like a living town with things going on, real people walking the streets and talking and things to do. And then my heart sank when I tried going up to the train station.
Wait, what?
They reduced this entire fan-favorited world to just the tram common and the mansion. It's so awkward to have such a limitation when everything else is improved so greatly. There are no new original worlds, it's just Disney World and then the Keyblade Graveyard. The final world just doesn't count, and Scala ad Caelum looks like it would have been that new amazing world on the level of Hollow Bastion and the World That Never Was. It even has this amazing theme music that you hear for 5 fucking seconds, and then it's just a boss gauntlet, and then the game is over. They brought back 100 Acre Wood because, you know, we all care, just for one minigame with 3 variations. They couldn't even give you a good context as to why you need to go back. Just that Pooh forgot about Sora, and then Sora goes to see him, and then Pooh suddenly remembers. The end. It's so bafflingly redundant and such a pointless callback that this could only have been put in the game as a joke by the devs just to dunk on anyone who's ever complained about this world in the past. On top of all this is the story. This clusterfuck of a series that's taken almost 2 decades to get here just collapses in on itself, as it not only has way too many things going on, but also takes way too long to get to the point. My biggest fear occurred where, much like Dream Drop Distance, nothing at all happens in the story until the last 25% of the game, where it's all dumped on you so forcefully that I could hardly even care. Jesus Christ, there's so much going on in this, and the only guy I really care about is Riku, who of course does nothing in this game, but at least Kairi— oh.
That was extremely rude.
Once again, the Disney worlds have been reduced to filler, with only extremely vague story pieces to connect it to the main story, some of which have absolutely nothing to do with the main story, and an epilogue that honestly kind of felt like a middle finger, that this story isn't truly over, and no, it's not going to make any more sense down the line because excuse me for not wanting to play a fucking mobile game. They could have used KH3 as the grand finale for this entire story and finally put this convoluted mess behind us and started a new chapter from scratch, but apparently someone thinks that people actually care about this. One thing I do want to mention though is the secret ending, and if you don't want to hear about it then just go to this time, I guess. But it to me implies that maybe Kingdom Hearts is going to continue within other franchises maybe, or it's setting up for some gigantic crossover, which would be interesting actually. It'd be like a reversal of what Kingdom Hearts is doing, where instead of other series coming to that game, it's instead that game coming to other franchises. Whether that means it's going to be an entirely new thing, namely that Verum Rex thing from Toy Box, which would be kind of hilarious actually, or The World Ends With You gets a new game. Which, look, I love Kingdom Hearts a lot, I really do. But The World Ends With You is probably my favorite game of all time. So anything new regarding that, I'm going to go berserk, alright? I mean, Neku in Dream Drop Distance said that, you know, they would meet Sora again. Like, and I was really, personally, really gutted that the Twooey characters did not return for Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, that really felt, I really felt like I got blue balled right there. So, maybe they're doing something with The World Ends With You, which would be really, really exciting. Overall, I'm not necessarily trying to be pessimistic about the future of Kingdom Hearts. It's just that I just want things to change, you know? I don't think it's currently in the best direction, or a direction that is best for this series. I feel like we should be getting away from this convoluted mess and also maybe tell the story in a bit shorter amount of time. I don't really want to wait another 13 years for whatever game, but that's all I'm trying to say. I mean, I'm still going to be a fan, but really. Really, the best moments were when the game seemed to not take itself seriously.
Is this supposed to be a Keyblade?
If you don't think that Vanitas getting fucking bodied by Mike and Sully was the best scene in the game, then I'm afraid we can't be friends. I never thought I'd enjoy seeing Instagram hearts or a goddamn selfie mode in the game, but little gimmicks like that make me feel like this game wants you to chill out, laugh at it, and just have fun. Not take itself seriously. I mean, for fuck's sake, you get to hear Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck say the name Xehanort a bunch of times. That's just plain funny. And then, on the other hand, we need the emotional arcs of about 60 goddamn characters. Man, who cares? I thought I did, but it's taken so much effort to keep up with that. Wasn't the point just to blend Disney and Final Fantasy? Why has the main Disney villain done literally nothing since the first game? And speaking of, where are the Final Fantasy characters? Where's the Sephiroth fight? And after shoving them down our throats for the entire decade, I completely expected Square to force in cameos of Lightning and Noctis somehow. You might think this is pedantic, complaining about the writing in a video game, but when you have so many cutscenes and the cutscenes are so long, it's a little hard to put behind you. It's a shame because I think the cutscenes look great. They're actually animated, unlike the past games. I kind of feel bad for not enjoying this story that much when it looks like a lot of effort and passion went into presenting it. And like the other games, the game really is fun when it's not taking you away with these stupid, unfun gimmick sections. I think most of my deaths came from the sledding in Mountain and the fucking pirate ship fights. But honestly, I'd say the combat is like everything else in the game. It's great for a bit, but it loses its charm after a while. I love the idea of having multiple Keyblades at one time, and that they transform into unique weapons with their own quirks. but the problem is you still have to land basic combos or magic to activate the transformations, so the series still hasn't really gotten over its button mashing tendencies. Now you get to hit triangle after a while. Cool. I didn't get much mileage out of shot locks, and I used links so rarely that I actually forgot they existed for most of the game. Because for some reason you need full MP to use them, and they're these really odd, complicated attacks that I didn't understand how to utilize immediately, so their usage cost is so high, and what I was already doing seemed to be better, so I wasn't particularly interested in trying again. Mostly because my favorite Keyblade is Ever After, which is a magic-based Keyblade with weak physical damage, so it was more worth it for me to keep my MP and spam magic until it activated its transformation, which is so goddamn cool. You float around like a badass, and when you press the dodge button, you leave behind these light clones, which then shoot the enemy along with you from all directions. I don't care about strategy or efficiency or whatever, this just felt so great to pull off every time, and I was content with doing this for most of the game. If we're to get more Kingdom Hearts games, then I hope they continue making up new and unique Keyblades like this, which encourage different playstyles, because some of the ones you get in this game just felt kinda samey.
Also, the attraction flows are hilariously OP, so I barely used them after the first half. LOL. Wait, what the fuck happened to my voice?
But at least the game was fun. At least I can say that much, even if half the time I wasn't really sure if I was doing anything correctly. Sometimes it felt like the bosses had a pattern, and sometimes it didn't, but I got through it anyway. The gummy ship was a kind of fun, non-offensive distraction, and the Ratatouille minigames were like so stupid that I actually loved doing it, even though I never ate anything. So the game really does have its moments. I think overall, I'd give it a light 7. It was alright. Is that really what I wanted, though? 2006, thinking about the possibility of a Kingdom Hearts 3, seeing fanfics and fan art and theories, a game I thought would be beyond my wildest imaginations. Is this really all that it amounted to? A game I think is just kinda good? When this got announced in 2013, I screamed hysterically and was struck with such energy that I just started doing push-ups on the spot right in front of my sister. And 6 years later, I cleared the game thinking, yeah, it was okay. Granted, I didn't really know what to expect from this game, so I can't really say I'm disappointed. I don't regret being excited about it, I don't regret attending the 9 PM launch, and I definitely don't regret buying it at full price and spending so much time with it. But I think that in the future, I'm just not gonna be that interested in a new Kingdom Hearts game. I think its time might be up. Time to move on. This game was one of the only things I really had as a kid. In fact, a big reason why I'm on the internet making this video is because when I was 10, I started spending most of my time online because here, Kingdom Hearts is really popular and I made a lot of friends with it. No one in my class liked it and no one my age lived in my neighborhood, so my real life was pretty empty. But now, at 23, I found lots of other things to immerse myself with. Does Kingdom Hearts still have such an important place in my heart? No pun intended? I really want to say yes. I want to say that Kingdom Hearts 3 was an amazing game that was worth however long I waited for it. That I'm absolutely stoked for future installments. But another part of my heart, I guess you could call it the darkness within, wants to say that Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't actually a good game, that I've grown up and evolved unlike this series, and that I'm only trying to defend it because it's such a cherished childhood memory that I haven't fully moved on from. It's a complicated mixture of both, and at the moment, I'm at a crossroads. Great music though.
Fuck you Zoomers, I'm going to go play Apex Legends.